I'm not wearing my Superman shirt, my Superwoman shirt. However, I ain't got much time. This is part 3. From my experience, I never seen such so much things in my life when it comes to other than having to practice what I preach. I'm the last one to talk because they left me there. Not even if they could come back to recharge, to come get me. I want everyone to know I hate the fact it's so hard to voice out that message because it's not being talked about enough due to my professionalism, especially my videos, and putting that out there. I want people to know I care about my people, even if they don't care about me, even if I'm not their people. But if I ever grew up, if all I ever did was grow up in a predominant community with the same skin color as me, that's a reflection of how they couldn't do so much, especially knowing how other people be for change because they fear that. Living in fear, carrying that fear, and even carrying that cautious mind about being cautious about who we deal with in our environment. But as I was saying about soul food, when it comes to those values on what Big Mama was talking about, they want to make it seem like she was evil and she was hurtful to other people. I just know we had a big gap, having a tic-tac-toe slot like that and or a variety. All they can talk about is this and that and the third. Even if they don't want to talk about it as other than they should, but it was not enough, and no people are dying out. No people are dying out, and they have other things to attend to. And even then, having to deal with mama, big mama, or grandma, having to clean up after white people. They didn't have Chinese people or Korean people cleaning up after these people in the 1960s and 50s and even in the 1940s. No more than to be under Frank of 2 decades, under 2 decades of that experience, 20 years of that experience to clean up. It's such a shame where it's going to be hard to find people that's going to pick up where they left off to carry that leniency. And I couldn't be the one in my bloodline to do it. I couldn't. All I could tell you is what I know of my experience, other than going off by what I'm telling you in this video of part 3. Because part 1 and part 2 is good, but part 3, yeah, I don't think I'm going to hear you. And it won't be able to come out the way it should. I don't have enough money to make. I'm only getting paid a certain amount. So it's deep when it comes to a proper algorithm of being cleanly and being clean, especially in that bloodline to carry on for generations to come. And there was not enough of it because they had their own issues, especially having to get that out the way, especially back up something that's backed up in our subconscious, backed up in our logic, and backed up in our system. And we had other kind of problems that we had to deal with, and we have to understand we have to understand them people had a lot on their plate, and they had a lot on their plate, and even having to withdraw from the situation too and recalibrate and check it, change it, and correct it to properly correct it in the right way as possible. But when it comes to clean up after people, there's only so much a person can deal with. Clean up after your kids, yes, it could be easy. But cleaning up after other people's kids is a little challenging. But when it comes to cleaning up after a group of people, it's even more difficult. Because when I looked at those um, mid-Asian or mid-Western videos about Asian people and Japanese people, it's the house was so filthy. Other than from AI, if that is AI, I'm not gonna be happy about that. It had to take them from that 30-minute video. It took them about at least 3 hours, 3.5 tops, to clean up that entire home like that. And that's almost 4 hours of your time to clean up, especially having 7 to 8 men and women clean up after other people, but we don't even have enough black people to clean up, and they don't want to do that because they don't want to carry that trademark with them for the rest of their life like that. They didn't want to carry that with them because that's just not their calling. That's not in their blood. Having to deal with that to be truthful to your own recognition and what your purpose is. So it's tough having to deal with African American people loving being black, loving the food, loving the culture, not even just the Chinese people and the Japanese people of their culture. Especially getting their nails done. That's Chinese and Japanese, even if it's black and white too. And they do that. I came across nail technicians too. But other than the culture of their food and their hospitality, black people have a way of showing their hospitality, of being a guest. And I got treated like a guest account, for example. And they are the main account, but they can't promote that enough in their community, only to the best way they know how.